All right, good morning, class. Grade 8. In the English, we should have to learn about the comprehension, the passage, or the story. After knowing all of these stories, we will be able to pursue or proceed to the comprehension skills. But we should know first those analyze and structures regarding the passages. What are the analyze and structures? In this issue, we will be handling the theme, the genre, the characters, the settings. What kind of characters? Is it indirect or direct? What are the conflicts? Is it internal or external conflicts? And what are the seven types of conflicts? We have man versus man versus nature, man versus natural, man versus technology, man versus supernatural, etc. Let's say that we know all of those analyzing structures, right? Then proceed to the comprehensions, asking questions of what happened in the story. All right? Quickly, Royally, I'm talking, you have to look at me. I know that I'm not handsome, but the cutest among all the animals on earth. Do not stare on your tablet. Put your eyes on me. Make it quiet. I'm not in the mood. Exploring African culture and literature. Let's begin. I want you to please stand up, James, and you have to read it as loudly as you can. You have your phone, you have your ebook, right? Okay, go.
Africa. Africa is called the Dark Continent not because of the completion of the original inhabitants, but because most people know very little about it. Africa is not a dark continent. It is a land flush with sunshine and vivid light. It is the last of the continents to feel the influence of Western civilization. Therefore, many people consider it a backward continent. Africa covers an area as large as the United States, Western Europe, India, and China put together. It has one-fifth of the entire land surface of the globe. It is an unbelievably rich continent. It contains 98% of the diamond mines of the world and 55% of the gold mines. It produces two-thirds of the world's supply of cocoa and three-fifths
Cacao.
supply of
Cocoa is the Tagalog accent, I believe. It is okay, you can say cacao, but you have to say cacao.
two-thirds of the world's supply of cacao and three-fifths of the world's supply of palm oil. It has immense reserves of water power. Archaeologists are now
Stop. Let's have an activity regarding this process. I just suddenly remember you have to focus because if I call your name and you don't know word, then Jane stopped. That would be a -1. I need to be careful and to restrict it down, James. Thank you. Next. Daphne.
Archaeologists are now becoming increasingly sure that the first man appeared in Africa. Fossilized remains of man have been found there that when given a carbon dating test showing man roamed the African continent 2 million years ago. No such fossilized testimony is available anywhere else in the world. Stone implements have also been found in certain parts of Africa that testify to 2 million years of human occupation. National parks in Africa. The animals alone in Africa make the continent extremely interesting and unique among all continents. Nowhere else in the world are there found in such variety and abundance. There is also no other place where man can see them in their natural habitat, and not in zoos. The Africans have always lived very close to wild, savage animals. The people fear them, eat them, and worship them. Animals play a dominant role in African mythology and folk stories. At the national parks, you can see wild animals in their natural habitats without the risk of being harmed. The national parks are zoos and rivers. At the zoo, animals are caged and the men are free to walk around. At the African national parks, wild animals roam around freely without wires or cages, and people have to remain safely enclosed in cars or
Shut
trucks.
up. Wow, you have a lovely voice and an excellent reading skills, Daphne. It sounds like you are reporting. Would you like to become an anchor in the future? No. Thank you. You may continue with Ryan.
The animals can approach. The animals can approach the cars, but as long as the people remain inside, no animal will attack a car or any vehicle, with the exception of the rhinocer- rhinoceros that sometimes do so. This might be caught because they dislike the smell of metal and gas. These smells conceal the smell of men. The smell of rubber also offends them. There are two basic rules to follow when in national parks. First, never get out of your car. Second, never use fire off, discharge, or explode any kind of firearm. Since the animals are never shot at and have probably never heard the sound of a gun, they feel secure and feel no threat from them. The parks are very extensive. Some are over 40 square miles. The animals are not accustomed to people on foot, so visitors at the parks stay in their cars not only to protect themselves but also to protect the animals. If the animals get used to the sight of men walking around, they might be tempted to wander into town where they might attack people and get shot. The British, the Rhodesians, the South Africans, and the Portuguese have all created national parks where hundreds of wild animals and birds live together. These should not be called parks because the land is in its natural wild condition, and the scenery is truly spectacular. The Albert National Park in Congo is over 1 million acres.
Sit down. Acres or acre? All right, your turn, please, Alexander. Well,
The national park outside
excuse
Nairobi,
me. Now your voice is back here.
the national park outside Nairobi is famous for the fact that it is only 5 miles outside the city. It is easily accessible by taxi, and the ride takes only 15 minutes. Wait, and the ride only
Quickly.
takes 15 minutes. The park contains about 14,000 wild animals in Africa. Good roads went through the park, and in a few hours, one can see a mother lion feeding her cubs, a pair of tigers making love, a giraffe peacefully eating the leaves of a tall tree, elephants stalking along, innumerable species of monkeys, and a spectacular variety of smaller beasts. The profusion of bird life is astonishing, from the large ostrich to birds on their migratory way to Europe. There are larks, there are larks small enough to hide in an ordinary pipe.
Continue, I didn't ask you to stop.
African art. In
But you
recent
have to lower
years,
your voice,
in
please.
recent years, primitive African art has been copied and imitated by Western nations. Government, museums, and private collectors have completed in acquiring primitive African ceremonial masks. Wooden figures with distorted limbs have aroused wonder and admiration. African intricate carvings have been fantastically praised. African art is closely associated with religion. It is very primitive in nature and is closely associated with superstition. Masks are terrifying because they are intended to frighten away evil spirits. Contemporary dance.
List of your students.
Contemporary dance music is based on African music with short rhythm based largely on the
Grades
drum.
11 and 12 with
African
that
music is
order
founded
for
with
uniform
religious
or not.
Yes.
ceremony. Also is a prayer for rain and for success in hunting and in war. The drum
Stop. Your turn. Simon.
The drum, being the force in African music, comes in different types. Drums may be entirely wood, hollowed and slit. They may be made of wood and hide. Elephant ears are especially valued for this purpose. It is believed that the invention of the drum was related to the ritual of driving the spirits of the dead away. African drums are so constructed that the sound travels over a long distance, more than 8 or 9 miles. Relays of drummers can easily send messages with astonishing speed over very long distances. A drum message can be sent 100 miles away in
Quickly.
2 hours. In some parts of tropical Africa, drums never stop beating.
Quickly.
They drive foreigners mildly crazy. African literature that has been written for or by African people is called African literature. The literature, often oral in nature, may be in prose or in poetry. Storytellers in Africa often tell stories using the call and response technique. This is because an African storyteller would expect his or her audience to give responses or comments. Poetry is often sung or recited in a sing-song voice. Poetry types include the narrative epic, occupational verse, ritual verse, and praise poems for rulers or other prominent people. The praise singers, bards, sometimes known as griots, tell their stories with a musical background, also recited, but most often sung are love songs, bird songs, children's songs, epigrams, and riddles.
Stop. Aliyah.
Producing the correct sounds of English. Though the use of grammar is advanced and the vocabulary load is sophisticated, oral communication still leads to confusion due to poor pronunciation of English sounds. Filipino learners, being non-native speakers of the English language, at times find it difficult to produce English sounds correctly and distinctly. However, constant exposure to the and consistent of the English language is the key to mastering it. To provide opportunities for exposure and use section of your book are devoted to practice and mastery of critical English sounds. For starters, work on the following oral exercise.
Aliyah, you have to wait for the beginning of the paragraph, please. Your turn, sorry. Anissa. Go. Don't go with Saima. Why are you fun with Saima? Start. From the first paragraph, African. Louder.
Africa. Africa is called the Dark Continent not because of the complexion of the
Answer.
original inhabitants, but because most people know very little about it. Africa is not a dark continent. It is a land flush with sunshine and vivid light. It is the last of the continents to feel the influence of Western civilization. Therefore, many people consider it a backward continent. Africa covers an area as large as the United States, Western Europe, India, and China put together. It has 1/5 of the entire land surface of the globe. It is an unbelievably rich continent. It contains 98% of the diamond mines of the world and 55% of the gold mines. It produces 2/3 of the world's supply of cocaine and 3/5
Cacao.
cacao and 3/5 of the world's supply of palm oil. It has immense reserves of water power. Archaeologists are now becoming
Archaeologists, not Archie. Archaeologists.
Archaeologists.
Huh? Archaeologists.
Archaeologists are now becoming increasingly sure that the first man appeared in Africa. Fossilized remains of man have been found that when given the carbon dating test, show man roamed the African continent 2 million years ago.
Continue, Ibrahim.
No such fossilized testimonial is available
Quickly.
anywhere else in the world. Stone implements have also been found in certain parts of Africa that testify to 2 million years ago, 2 million years of human
Would you like to louder your voice, please?
national parks in Africa.
There's no changes of the tone. I said louder your voice and quickly.
The animals alone in Africa make the continent extremely interesting and unique among all continents. Nowhere else in the world are they found in such variety and abundance. There's also no other place where man can see them in their natural habitat and not in zoos.
Are you sleeping?
No.
Louder?
The Africans have always lived very close to wild, savage animals. The people fear them, eat them, and worship them. Animals play a dominant role in African mythology and folk stories. At the national
Stop. Amir. Continue.
At the national parks, you can see wild animals in their natural habitats without risk of being harmed. The national parks are zoos in reverse. At a zoo, animals are caged and the men are free to walk around. At the African national parks, wild animals roam around freely without wires or cages, and people have to remain safely enclosed in cars or trucks. The animals can approach the cars, but as long as the people remain inside, no animal will attack a car or any vehicle, with the exception of the rhinoceros that sometimes do so. This might be because they dislike the smell of metal and gas. These smells conceal the smell of men. The smell of rubble also offends them. There are two basic rules to follow when in a national park. First, never get out of your car. Second, never use, fire off, discharge, or explode any kind of firearm. Since the animals are never shot at and have probably never heard the sound of a gun, they feel secure and feel no threat from them. The parks are very extensive. Some are over 40 square miles. The animals are not accustomed to people on foot, so visitors at the parks stay in their cars not only to protect themselves, but also to protect animals. If the animals get used to the sight of men walking around, they might be tempted to wander into town where they might attack people and get shot. The British, the Rhodesians, the South Africans, and the Portuguese have operated national parks where hundreds of wild animals and birds live together. These should not be called parks because the land.
Stop. Thank you, James. What is the literature topic? What is the literature topic? Anyone?
African literature.
Louder your voice, please.
African literature.
Very good. In the African literature class, it tells about what? But before that, I would like to say that COCOA can be cocoa or cacao, okay? It's not Archie. The name is Archie. It should be archaeologist. Continue. Daphne, what can you say about this literature lesson?
In this story or literature explanation, for the explanation, it is basically talking about how Africa is not a known continent compared to the rest of the other continents that are always known and they always get a lot of news about because Africa is barely heard of anywhere.
Okay. It talks about the word Africa, right? In the globe, where can we find the country Africa first? Near the equator. Okay. Then when you say Africa, okay, Daphne, Africa, what is the most important thing that Africa has in this passage, stories, or in this comprehension?
Its abundance of animals and metals and such as diamonds and
So they have those tundra forests. They have desert for those animals to live there because they are well known for having different types or kinds of animals. Is that right, guys? Is it mentioned in your passage? When they say reading story passages or passage or comprehensions, it talks about this story, right? And the equivalent of that is we call literature. Okay? Now, you have to answer, okay, in your notebook because this is an e-book. We don't have a physical book. You have to answer all of these questions, okay, on the right, left sides of that e-book when you go back home. Okay? Because I have the strategies of that in a different way. Do you think that Africa connects with the national park story or a different story? Amir. National park is a different story or the same connected with the Africa part?
The national park, it talks about the national parks specifically in Africa, but within that discussion, it talks about the main differences about the national parks in Africa and the national parks across the world. So it talks about the safety and the speciality of the national parks in Africa because it talks about the people being safe and the animals also being safe and they are being kept well and they are being fed very well and they are not being held inside cages.
Very good. Africa, then in Africa, they also have a national parks. Okay, the national parks, they mentioned those zoos, right? They have zoos. So the people can enjoy watching and going to this park. After the national park, I have to cut the story short. They have an African art. James, please stand here and you have to tell us brief explanation of your own understanding regarding this art, please. You may stand here.
From my own understanding, the African art,
Art, yes. I don't know this one.
as you can see here, the African art is closely associated with religion. In Africa, there's a lot of religions and its culture in Africa. And they're what they're mostly known to be very superstitious. And you can see here, as you can see, masks are terrifying because they are intended to frighten away evil spirits. So guys, don't be so scared. In contemporary dance music is based on African music with short identities done on the drum beat. And the drum beat, which was also part of the African music, the religious part, bound up with religious ceremony composed as a prayer, rain for success. And also, like for culture, for that success for the rain, for which they are praying for, including in a war, the drum beat. The drum beat, the force in African music, comes in different types, being entirely wood, hollow, and slate. So, in what I can understand, I can briefly understand, the government museums and private collectors have competed in acquiring primitive African ceremonial masks, wooden figures with stone leaves, have aroused wonders and admiration. For my own opinion, the African art is really interesting. Like they're mainly its cultures are really colorful and then colorful yet they have interesting topics about it.
Thank you. I think I need Daphne. Sit down, James. Daphne, what about African literature?
so African literature is all of the stories like poetry, stories that they have written, such as poems and all those other stuff, like epics and verses for rituals and many more. Literature, they have a wide variety for everything, such as like what I said earlier, rituals, and they have a lot of songs, like such as love songs, work songs, children's songs, and riddles.
Thank you. Okay, let's have that one first, huh? Turn on, please, the lights. I would like you to listen to this. Write the word literature. Class, when you were in elementary, they call it reading passage. But because you are in high school, okay, I will make an advance, meaning that this is literature. They only call this when you go to university in this country. That's what I mean. But I have to say that reading is also literature. Okay. What are the things that we need to know regarding that story? One, in Africa, they have a national park and park. What else? In Africa, they have national park and park. What else? Literature. We are talking about literature of the Africa. It means the story of Africa. So national park, art, and huh? Very. Because it says there African literature, that's why Simon said literature. Now, our lesson for today is about the African literature. What contains the African literature? We have the national park, art, and their culture. I would like you to give me a summary of their national park as well as their art, considering their culture. Okay? You understand? All right. Let's have the story plot. Do you know the story plot? Well, yes, sir, but that story is about a history of one country. Whether the history of one country, it still has what? A story plot. We need to find out. This is, do you still remember what is this? Who still remember what is exposition? May I call Ibrahim? Rayan? Alexander, Amir, Daphne.
Expositions contains characters, settings, and vocabulary words.
Very good. So in the exposition, you have the characters, settings, and some introduction of those vocabulary words. Do you get what I mean, guys? After that, you have this, what we call the RA. I have to abbreviate it. RA means the rising action. We're in what is rising? When the story started to build the conflict and the characters itself. What about the climax? It's the turning point. And we have the FA.
following
The
action.
following action. Then we have here the resolution. Okay? The resolution means what?
Solution of problem.
The solution of the problems. That's it. You got it. The solutions of the problems. Okay. Sir, there are characters. There are settings. Yes. Is there any rising action in that passage? I think there is no rising action because there's no problem. Is there any falling action? No. What about the climax, guys? Climax. Do you think there is a climax in that story? Let's find out. What about the resolution? Did they put some problem that we need to solve in that story or passage? No. Okay. And we have the conflict. I think this is 1, and this is 3. Sorry. This is 4, and this is 5. This is 6, and this is what we call the number 2, which is conflict. Here I have what we call story organizer. Alright? You should find this. You should have this. This is a simple story organizer that I created for me to teach my learners or students in an easiest way. So what if there are no such things like the conflict, the resolution, okay, the rising and falling, or even the climax, but they have a character, like in simple vocabulary words, still a story, still a passage. Now, let's do the analyze, craft, and structure. Okay? May I erase this now? Yes or no, Ryan? May I erase this? May I erase these? Yes or no? What yes or no? I heard you were very happy because I was after yesterday. Okay, we have the genre. If you watch a movie, if you read a story, there should be a genre. Alright. Why there is a genre? Why do we need a genre, Alexander? In order for us to have an advanced thinking of what is a story. That's it. Horror, romance, avoid doing the romance, okay? Fantasy, history, adventure, yes. We have what? Tragedy. Sorry? Tragedy, okay. We have non-fiction and fiction. What is fiction? Not real. It seems like Ibrahim has a candy inside his mouth. Louder your voice. Not real. And when we say non-fiction, the opposite of not real is real. Of course. China. In the passage about the Africa, what should be the genre?
Documentary.
+1. I'll put the Great. That's documentary. Sir, what about history? History documentary. Just don't remove the word documentary because they are documenting what happened, what they have in Africa. After you have the genre, of course, it follows characters. Who are the characters? Of course, if you say characters, it would be who. Who are the characters? Africans.
Foreigners.
Sorry?
Foreigners.
Foreigners.
Archaeologists.
Archaeologists, exactly. What about the animals? Are they included in the so-called characters? Don't clap Alexander because it is also considered the animal tale. But you have to find What are the two main characters? I am not applying for the story that you read only. I am entirely giving you the knowledge. So that if you encounter a next story, a next passage, I know how to bid this. And it's easy for you to answer the following questions because you know all of this. What are the two main characters? Huh? What reporter? You want me to go inside here? Just tell me if you do. Yes, Andrew, you have an idea?
Protagonist and antagonist.
One of my oh, you just remember me, huh? Protagonist versus antagonist. Hey, who is the hero here?
Protagonist.
Here. And who is the enemy?
Antagonist.
Definitely. So this is what we called the hero and the villain. In the story, in the movie, okay, impossible if there is no antagonist, if there's no enemy. The story will not run. The story will not satisfy us if there is no enemy. And put in your mind that in this world of odds, we are always having an enemy. Those who are sarcastic, an envy person, or jealous of their own way of life. Okay? We have these two main characters, and we have the called types. All of them. Characters. I will get you the best one. So lucky because I am an English educator. Types of characters, class. What about the types of characters? Yes?
Round and flat character.
Alright. We have the round characters and
Flat character.
again
Flat character.
the flat characters. If we say round, what comes to your mind, gentlemen and ladies? Yes, anyone? If you say round characters, yes.
Does not contribute much in the story.
Whew, that's one. Round characters, those characters that do not contribute much in what's going on in the so-called story, the movie you watch, or in the movie, the story you read. What about the flat characters, if you say flat? Ryan, flat characters. Yes, flat.
Side characters or
The side characters? Yes. The main characters, okay, moving a lot in the story. Round is just like, okay? Okay, guys. We have the kinds of characters. We also have two kinds of the characters. What are the two kinds of the characters? Yes? Two. The indirect and direct. I gave this to you the last time, right? Very good, grade 8. At least, if I'm leaving you, you will remember me. These are the things that Mr. Grayson had explained to us. Direct and? Example, Amir, Ryan, Ibrahim, James, and Alexander. Sir Grayson doesn't know the differences between the direct and indirect characters. Would you like to tell me, okay, what are the differences between these direct and indirect characters? Come on.
For direct, we have examples like a thief or serial killer.
Okay. And indirect, sorry. I'll give an example so everybody listen. Ryan, listen to me, please. Ryan is an author, the writer of the story. He wrote a story regarding Grayson. Grayson got his gun, pulled the trigger of it, and shoot the head of Ibrahim. As you are the reader, he killed Ibrahim in the story. So, is that direct or indirect? Indirect. But for example, Ryan wrote a story and he mentioned James is a killer. He killed Ibrahim. So it's direct. You understand now? Are you sure? Yes or no? Did you understand, Simon? That's your problem, not your problem. I explained this the last time I explained again. Stand up. Stand up. Okay. You should explain. Who wants to explain to Saima the differences between the direct and indirect, guys? Anyone? 5. Yes. 4. I will give all of you 0 if you don't want to stand up and explain it to her.
So for direct, it is basically you are straightforward in explaining what the character did.
Tell it to her.
Or what the character is like. And so for indirect, it is basically you are taking your time in explaining how the character is like and not directly giving the personality of the character to the readers. So it's like slower.
Saima, you understand now? Where? All right. So let's go now. Thank you. Let's go now to the conflicts. What is conflict, by the way? Huh? Conflicts. Come on. Yes.
Issue or problem.
The issue or the problem. Please don't be shy. Come on. Ryan, you have to participate or else I'm gonna move myself. Opening the window and jump on it. Conflict means the problem, the issue in the said story. So in the said conflicts, we have internal and external. We need to know what are internal and external. Come on, move your wings, guys. I believe in your own knowledge. We have the internal versus what? External. James, go. Quickly, tell me what is internal and external. Amir, Ibrahim, make your guess, guys. I did not say all your answers are wrong. I'm only saying okay, because I want to develop your speaking. When we are going to study this reading, I have to develop your speaking. When we are doing grammar, speaking. It is also a part of the communications, guys. So what is internal and external? Yeah, I have to speak quickly now. Yes?
Internal means having.
I cannot hear you. How do you voice? Louder. Yes.
Internal means
I cannot hear your voice. Yes. Until I go studying the patient's office. You don't know? Yes. What is internal? Yes.
Internal is is a type of conflict where the
Characters.
character is having its own internal problems.
That's in common sense logic. Internal. Meaning the character has his or her own problem. And external. The characters, the antagonist, having a problem to the protagonist. What do you mean? Internal conflict, meaning the main characters having his or her own problem on how to beat that antagonist. While antagonist having the problem not to himself or herself, but to the protagonist. And we have the 7 kinds of conflicts. The one I said is man versus man, man versus self, man versus supernatural, man versus natural, man versus nature, man versus technology, and man, what machine is technology? Man versus, let's find out. Sorry? Society, who said that? +1 again, you got 2 plus now, and +1 for Daphne. James, you always have 0. Do you think I'm very, very happy? Alright. Let me just say you. Oh. Okay, I got this. Sir, can I say person to person? Yes. Can I say man to man? Yes, but change it because it's not good sounds, okay? Man to man. Okay, guys. All right. Ready? Okay. How many minutes do we have, please, Daphne? 2? Huh? Why it's too fast?
2 minutes.
Huh?
2 minutes.
Sorry?
2 minutes more.
Okay. Until what? Why? I just lost because of you. Ayaw mo nang mali sila Char. Why? You lie now. Hold on. This is me. If I cram 7 types of, because I lost. In literature, of course. Huh? What you say? If we say man or person versus self, it means she or he has a problem to himself or herself in the story. If we say man versus supernatural, it means those movies, those stories that express magical, fiction. Okay, good. Magaling sa Aliyah. Aliyah, I started to love you na. And when we say man versus nature, like the environment, disaster, flood, what else?
Natural disasters.
Yes, exactly. Ang galing-galing niya ngayon. Baka ngayon lang yan, ha? Don't do that, okay? Why? The page not found. Automatically, the page not found. Is it because of you? Okay. Or we say characters to characters. Okay. In your notebook, please. Don't give me 1 word. Sorry. In your notebook, guys. Okay, here. Characters versus characters. Dash. Characters versus characters. When? Move, James, quickly. We still have 1 minute and you... It's time already. I am enjoying explaining the lessons. It's time I need like 3 hours in this class. Why? Not all. You are smart, Ibrahim. But when you open your mouth, why you do like this? You are afraid of it. Huh? What did you say? Says he became a tiger.
He doesn't speak much.
Huh?
He said he doesn't speak much.
Huh?
He said he doesn't speak much.
You do the same thing. Don't do that to me, Ibrahim. If I'm your teacher, you have to speak as always as you can. If I called your name, you would have to answer me. Or else you're gonna go back to grade 6. You understand? My food is so smelly. Amir supported me in my channel, but no one of you. Yes, of course I told you, right?
Yes.
In the long test. Last today is Monday. Son? I have to go to grade. +1 to those who attended my. I was very sick actually at that time. This is me. If I am sick, I need to what? I need to find ways and means. Especially when you are lonely inside your room, you're not doing anything. You're so lucky because you have your mom and dad here. You have your sisters, right? Huh?
I commented on your live.
You're lying, Bumble. Please. Do you think I can open that by myself alone? This is my best friend starting when I met him. Please accompany me. Hello. Oh. Luis, come here. We are the grade 9. Would you like to accompany me? Grade 9? They moved there because of the AC, the aircon? Oh, you don't know anything. You only love to know Filipinos because you want to help me. Oh, nothing. Oh, I'm nothing? Really? They move it here? That's grade 9? They are grade 7 and low. Hello. They move it here, grade 12. Here? Is it time? Ba't nandyan pa siya?
Parang overtime lang.
Sampalin ko yun dyan. Luis, thank you. Sorry, madam. Malish. I need to wait for madam to be out because she's still having the class. Thank you. Now I'm entering now. Why did you move here?
Because
Where's the teacher's table? That's okay. I heard that you were very happy yesterday because I wasn't here. You're lying. I cannot sense you. You have your ebook? Try to turn it on, please. I don't even know. Hi. I said ebook, not messaging the one that you have. I'm just joking. Don't show me some proof. Anyway. Did you prepare? Let us see. Today is English, right? Oh! Alright. Ready?
Version is this short.
That's an oration?
It's considered as an oration.
Huh?
I didn't. I didn't know what kind of oration you wanted me to.
What was the oratorical speech you did when you had a contest with the other school? Shoot. Oh, why did you sit there? You're an enemy now? Where's the other one? I said, where's the other one waving your hands? I don't even know who you are. What was the piece you had when you fight, when you had a contest with the others?
It was about children. About children changing lives.
That's it. This is not the one. This is like a poem.
It was the oratorical speeches too.
Well, anyway, let me see how you did the diction, accents, enunciations, and of course your pronunciation. Not the pronunciation. Pronunciation is a kind of something that's different from pronunciation. Are you ready now? This is me if I got sick. Please stand up. Where would you like to say something? Here. Okay. Let me see.
Do I?
Yes. I think when you had a contest, did anyone tell you about the rules? What are you going to do?
It wasn't really even.
You have to go outside and don't mind them. You have to look here. Don't look there because if you look there, your concentration will be lost. That's the rule, right? The first one you have to go there. You have to look here. Because I had a feeling you're getting nervous. Trembling your hands like this. Then you have to do the 45 movements like this. Okay, once you move, you want you to look, you have to make gulat with them. Look at this right and left, right? You don't need to move a lot because this is an oratorical speech. You prepare. That's what we call extemporaneous. If it is impromptu, I have to put a topic and you have to think it. So if you do that, it means you are a brilliant students in this world. Who can think like very quickly? I did when I was like your age. Okay, and then you don't need to move much. As what I told you, you have to go one time. Okay? This is you are calm, relax. But if you do like this, but don't do like that. You can do. But if you do like this, it means you are starting to get angry. To emphasize what's the meaning of your piece. You do like this. If you do like this, it means attention, please. Can you do that to me? It's okay. Just like I just really wanted to see your way of delivering the message. Okay. Back. Go. Go outside. Don't clap. Don't do anything because clapping, she's not flying. Okay. Start. If I put you there, you have to start there. No, it's good. Don't knock the door. No one will open. Just open it directly. Tinakpan mo yung camera ko. Importante sa akin. It's okay. Just stay here. Okay. Or maybe you don't want to face them? See.
Dito na lang po ako.
Natural. Alam nga doon ka tumingin sa tatas. Love you. Yes!
Love.
needs hard work. Love is about overcoming obstacles, facing challenges, fighting to be together, holding on and never letting go. Love is a short word, easy to spell, difficult to define, but impossible to live without. I agree, love is work. But most of all, love is realizing that every hour, every minute, every second is worth it because you're with them. And everything that you do is worth it since you are together.
Thank you. I have to give you like I think I can see you like you're best in doing declamations. Because you're moving. I know, I observe. Stress of the sounds, the emphasize you need it. Don't be shy. They don't even know how to do that for themselves. Think of it. The list will be next. Okay? Tomorrow. Class, I think you're the best when you do declamations. In Tagalog, it's easy to develop, but in English, it's quite difficult. Like you're looking for support with spelling Basilio. Kasi when I saw you, you move like this. Okay. You know when you do the oratorical speech, when it's like impromptu, you act like you're a president of the country. Like, you know, I love Barack Obama. There is a podium here, okay, that's a different case. But what if there is no podium? Then they will see you really serve the issues. But anyway, thank you. I'll give you +1 in the upcoming exam. Class, you have to turn on your gadgets and proceed to the grade 9 economics in your e-book. Okay? Thank you, Leon. Is it English, guys?
Yes.
Why you didn't talk? Where's Sarah? There's me. Hello. Okay, proceed to the first page, please. Hi. Oh, I miss this. Your mom tricked me. I was having a live in my YouTube channel and then she said, shout out from America. So I said, I'm gay. Okay. But she tricked me for 10 minutes. I just found, no, not 10. For 2 hours, I just found that it was your mom and I saw the message in the email. Ready? Prepare yourself, the two of you will be a teacher here in place. Okay? you're going to be a teacher someday. Please stand up. Don't just show it to me. Just. I know what kind of eraser is this. Maybe it has a welding machine. Because it's full of metal. Oh, how many kilos? Let me try to say something regarding this literature. Oh, you look handsome. You change your appearance. Before you look like a gangster. Kidnappers, bank robbery. Not you! Okay, we have this literature, and when it comes to literature, we have what we call passages, or the story, okay? Those lessons, those stories that you are reading, it can also be a movie. Okay. So when we say literature, we need to know those plot organizers, the analyze, craft, and structure. What's your name? Kim. You? Ella. Nice to meet you. Okay. You're just new. Came from Japan. Okay, so literature we have the plot structures or the organizations, the organizers. We also have the analyze, craft, and structures, okay? In literature, okay, we have to do the picture stocking. What is this? Picture stocking, you have to explain what is this picture about. Next, we need to know the, okay? The plot organizers or the summary of the story. We have like this, the diagram of it, okay? So we have the exposition. Exposition contains what? Exposition, come on. I really explained this during the first meeting. Did I? Liar. Exposition is here. This is number one. Okay? When we say exposition, what includes? Very good. Let's go for example. If you have the introduction, it contains what? Of course. Very good. What else? You include the place and time. What about the characters? So you have exposition, we call the introduction. We have the characters and the settings. What else? Of course, some vocabulary words. You understand? Okay, you got it? Then we have the RA, the rising action. You know what's rising action? Grade 9, the grade 8 knew it. I just told them last time. Rising action, come on. The action that happens after this exposition and the climax. So, center. Things happened after the exposition and in between the climax, we call the falling action. The rising action. The rising action. This I followed you because I trusted you. More than I trust myself. So we have the rising action. Rising action wherein the events happen after the exposition and the climax, okay? When we say climax, come on, guess. What is climax? Yes, Han.
Just when things are starting to get interesting.
Exactly. That's what happened. Yes, it is the turning points. Turning points. When the characters have to face the problem. Okay? When those characters start to have face their problems. And the falling action is what? John.
Falling action is where both characters can, after the peak of after a peak of climax.
0. Okay, correct. This one. It is immediately after the cold climax. If you did not mention the climax, I will put you 0 minus. And resolution is very easy. I will let it plus. Resolution is when the problem is being solved. Mathematical expression is not solved. Solved. Okay. What about the conflict? Yes. Of course. The problem. It means conflict means the issue, the problem, okay? When we have problems, of course, we need to know, guys, we are now the structures of the structures and analyze the analyze practice structures, okay? So when we have the so-called problem, we have two things to remember. Can you see, guys? Again, I have a memory loss. Your name is Emily? Ella. You are. Okay. Whew. That's my problem, but I'm not old. Ella, stand up. Internal and external. Your own perception about this meaning is what? Okay, I still need 30 minutes. Sorry, that's my task. Come on, Ella. Come on, don't be shy. This is my first human earth. Internal and external in the story about conflict. These are not the types. These are the kinds of conflict. We have internal and external. Yes, sit down. Kimberly Davis, please.
I think that internal conflict is
Louder your voice. I will go to the admin and I will listen to you. Louder than please.
the internal
I cannot hear you. Louder. Louder. Louder.
I think that internal conflict is what happens between the character.
What happens within the character? That's a nice action. You need miss a word. Thank you, but no. You, internal. Internal. Internal Joshua, I miss you. Karen, internal. Ace, Vince, John, come on. Hannah, Sarah, Prima, Yana, Denise. You, Sabia. Please, you, Ria. Emily, right? Ella, come on. Prima! Yes.
The internal conflict is like a minor inconvenience in my understanding, while external is like a catastrophe.
Wait a minute. Internal conflict and external. Internal means the problem of the main character to himself or herself. Inside. Maybe she's getting crazy or like he is crazy. What about external? It is the problem of the antagonist toward the main character. Denise, did you get what I mean, Denise? So internal is the main character problem, while external is the sub-character problem toward this internal. Okay? We have the 7 types of the conflict. Ooh. I need to separate these two. It should be 9, but I have to exclude these two because these two have their own identification. Internal means the main problem of the characters to himself or herself, while external is the sub-character problems toward the internal. But we have the 7 types of the characters. We have man to man, but don't use it. It's not, it's very bad to do here. It should be person versus person. Okay? Person versus person. How come? When the two characters in the story are fighting together. Person versus person, okay? Person versus or man versus nature. Do you know nature? Like flood, typhoon, earthquake, everything, tornadoes. That's person versus nature. Third, person versus supernatural. It's easy. Supernatural is like magic, fairy tales, okay? Person versus self. Self. If she or he is talking alone, thinking about what's going on, like the Hunger Strike, the girl there, that you call it, I forgot her. Like using the arrow in the movie. Yeah, like that. And she was on the maze and alone. So it's person versus. Yes. Number 5, person versus supernatural. And supernatural, nature. Natural. Okay. So, technology. So, class. You are reading a story but you don't know what types of conflicts. You are watching the movie but you don't know what types of conflicts. You should know. Okay? So we have this. Now let's have the characters. In the characters, what do we have? We have 2 kinds. What are the 2 kinds of characters?
The protagonist and the antagonist.
That's the types. Okay. 2 kinds of the characters we have. I have to be revenged. Protagonist and the antagonist. What is protagonist and what is antagonist? Yes.
Primarily, protagonist is like the hero of the story, and the antagonist is the villain.
Alright. Understand? Okay. So kinds. We also have 2 types of the characters. What are the 2 types? Come on. 2 types. 2 types. We have the direct and the indirect. Sorry about my handwriting, okay? The direct character and the indirect character. Example. Okay? Hannah wanted to write a story. Or Hannah is a director of a movie. Hannah is very smart, very clever. He wanted her viewers, listeners, he wanted her readers to get headache. Let's proceed with the indirect. Vince, okay. Hannah wrote the story now. Vince took his gun, he took it, and pulled it over the head of Sarah. That's indirect. So as a reader, as a listener and viewer, we are the watchers. What kind of character does Vince possess? Yes? Huh? Louder your voice, please. Indirect, when Hannah is going to write a story or directing a movie, that she wanted the viewers, the listeners, the watchers to think of what she's doing. Like Vince put the gun in his pocket and shoot it on Sarah's forehead. I don't want you to type as an example. That's indirect character. In the direct, we will think, Vince is a murderer. That's direct, okay? And another example. All went to the bank. He took all the monies inside and ran away. That is what? What types of characters? Direct or indirect? Indirect. Now give me the direct of this example. All went to the bank. He took all the money and ran away.
All is a robbery.
As long as you let me. Okay, understand? We also have, aside from the kinds of characters, we have another two kinds of the characters. What happened? It's loose.
It loose?
Yes, it's okay.